In this video, we are going to learn how to synchronize your Clerk data into your database application with webhooks, right? So as you can see in here, I'm going to show you how to set up Ngrok, and also as you can see here on the road, basically we store the data into our database PostgreSQL with Prisma, right? Let me show you how it works. So here, I'm going to open the website right here. As you can see, there is no user on the dashboard, and also there's no user on the database. So now let's try to sign in. I'm going to sign in with Google account. So this is basically will work with any provider you like. I'm going to use my account in here and then click continue. And hopefully now, as you can see, we should have new data on our dashboard. I'm going to verify I'm a human. I'm answer I'm a human. Let's take a look. As you can see, I'm a login, and as you can see right here, the data that's come from the database. As you can see on the dashboard, of course, we have new user, and of course on the PostgreSQL also we have that user, right? As you can see, this is come from the Prisma. I'm going to show you the page. It's right here, right? I just JSON stringify the user, come from the prisma.user.find menu right here. Right, this is what we are going to learn in this video. Hope this is helpful. Let's get started. So I have a brand new Next.js application here, and the first thing what we are going to do is let's set up Clerk, right? So let's go to the Clerk website, and then if you don't have an account, just sign up and just go to your dashboard account, create an application, and now you have your application right here, right? Go to configure, and then right here, you have your API keys basically that you can copy and paste to your environment variables, right? So let's go to documentation first because we are going to use Next.js. I'm going to click this Next.js and then just follow along all the instructions. Okay, so first we are going to copy this command right here, right? Install clerk/Next.js. I'm going to open the terminal and just paste that right here. And also next thing is we are going to create the middleware. Because I use source directory, I'm going to put the middleware inside the source directory, not on the root, right? Just make sure you do that. If you're not using source, just putting that on the root. Okay, so let's go to source and then create file called middleware.ts. Great. So now I think this middleware should be inside the source. Right, same level with the app directory like this, and then the content is everything inside in here. I'm gonna paste that, and as you can see, this is basically will export the Clerk middleware, and then this config here will basically expose this API right here, right? So we can always access the API as a public, not private. Great. So now what we need to do next is basically wrapping the layout. Let's go to layout, and then we need to just wrapping this HTML with Clerk provider, right? Copy that and then go back here, paste that, and then I should wrapping all of this with Clerk provider. Just make sure import Clerk provider come from the Clerk/Next.js. Okay, we done, and then now we can use that function in here, the component, sign in button, and etc. But before that, we need to create the .env on the root of our application. Go back to the dashboard of the Clerk, and then you can copy your environment variable here and just paste that like so. Great. So now let's create a navbar component because we are going to add the login and the user button on the navbar, right? So on the app right here, I think on the source, I'm going to create a component, and then inside that I create navbar like this. Let's do RFC and then use navbar like this, and then we can import it into the layout, just putting inside the body here. Let's do navbar like that, and then go to my home, which is page.tsx. I just want to remove everything here. Just put the div and then h1. Let's say hello app or whatever you want. Okay. So now let's just run npm run dev. And as you can see, we have navbar and also hello app. Okay, so let's go back to the navbar.tsx. I just want to paste this really simple navigation that have link come from the next link, and also sign out come from the clerk, sign in button, and also sign in, and also user button. What happened here is basically the clerk will check if users sign out, it will show the sign in button. All right, if user sign in, it will show the user button. Okay, let's go back in here, and as you can see, it's automatically show the sign in button because we just sign out right now. Okay, if you want to add your custom button, it's pretty simple. You need to just wrapping your custom button with this sign in button. Let's do that like so, and then inside in here, maybe you have your own button. Just put in that like this. Here we go. And of course, you can styling this button wherever you want. I just want to paste this my styling right here, right? As you can see, we have button with px and etc. Just this really simple styling. And then we have this sign in button. As you can see, if I hover it, it's look like that. So now what I'm going to do is if I click sign in, as you can see, it's automatically show the modal clerk authentication. If I log in, of course, this is will successfully. Let me show you. I'm going to log in with Google. I'm going to select my account here and just continue. Now, as you can see, I'm logged in, and as you can see right here, I can click my account right here, right? I can manage account and etc. So if I go back to my dashboard and go back to users, of course, now I have one user that log in. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to set up Prisma and also database so we can synchronize this data come from the clerk into our database with webhooks, right? So I'm going to open my blog post on the Medium, which is this one right here. I'm going to click on that, and this is a really simple tutorial. So let's just copy all of this, right? First, I'm going to install Prisma. Let's install Prisma, and also I'm going to install initialize the Prisma, copy that command, go back here, and then just want to close everything. Initialize the Prisma. Now, after we initialize it, as you can see, we have Prisma folder and also this env variable right here. It's also explained on this article. And then next, make sure we're connecting your database right here, right? So I have my PostgreSQL on my local environment. I'm going to click right here, and then as you can see, it's start running right now. Okay, just click start, and then just make sure you change your name here to wherever your database name, and then this is my password. And then also for the database, I'm going to use my DB. You can change whatever you want. Great. After that, we are going to create our schema. So I just want to copy and paste, come from the documentation here, just really simple. Next, we are going to basically change the user model. For now, just do this example. Okay, on the user, we have ID, email, and name, and etc. We're not going to use this post, but this is just for example. Okay, let's go back, and then now we need to generate the Prisma here. npx Prisma generate, like that. And then now we need to do npx Prisma db boost to basically push this model into our database. Okay, so let's do that. npx Prisma db boost. And then I just want to, because my database have a value, this basically will override that value. Okay, so we have already doing that. So now we can say npx Prisma Studio to see our database now. Let's say studio and hit enter. Now it will open localhost 5555. And as you can see, we have both and also the user. In user, we have the ID, email, name, and both. Great. So let's go back to our beautiful article right here. And then next, we need to install the Prisma client in order to connecting our client to the database. Okay. So let's copy this command, go back here. I just want to close the terminal. Let's paste and enter. Next, we need to say npx Prisma generate, but let's just skip that. Next, we need to create this db.ts file. Okay, so let's paste that right here. It's going to be create a lib folder, and inside that we have db.ts file. So now I'm going to initialize the Prisma client here. I'm going to copy and paste it. As you can see, this is basically will export the Prisma variable, and now we can use that Prisma variable to whatever we want. Okay, let's go back, and then as you can see how we can use that, it's super simple. As you can see right here, let's go back to my page.tsx. Let's try to grab that user in here because I'm using await. Of course, I can change the component function to async function, and then the Prisma is going to become from the libdb. My bad. The lib is going to be inside the source. Okay, I'm going to drag and drop to the source like this, and just make sure I import again the Prisma come from the @/libdb like this. So now I can basically say json.stringify and put the users inside in here. So if I do npm run dev, so now we should see empty array on the browser. Let's take a look right here. I'm going to refresh. As you can see here, we have an empty array, right? If I run the npx Prisma Studio and I add new data on the user, it should be showing the data right here. Let me show you how to do that. At screen, at record, and then the email, I'm going to say example@example.com. The name, I'm going to say Chan, and I'm going to save. All right, the name is still null. I'm not sure what happened. Let's add name, save. Why I cannot add name here, bro? Oh, here we go. Nice. Thanks. And I'm going to refresh, and as you can see, we have that data here. Right? Cool. So now we have already initialized and set up the Prisma in our Next.js application. So now, how to synchronize our Clerk user into our database, right? So I'm going to open let me search on the Clerk documentations, let's say webhooks. So let's click this sync Clerk data to your app with webhooks. So basically we are going to use Ngrok, right? So let's open the Ngrok dashboard right here. I have already signed up, by the way. So if you don't have, just sign up. It's pretty simple. And also you can download that on your local, basically. You can download from here. If you use Mac OS, just download it. And then after you download that, just make sure you extract like this. Open your terminal, right? What I'm doing. Open your terminal and then just paste that code right here, right? Just paste that and hit enter. And also copy this one right here, paste that and hit enter, right? Pretty simple. After that, you can run this command right here, by the way. So let's go back in here. I'm going to showing you. So I'm going to say ngrok http, and then because Next.js running on a port 3000, we can do 3000 in here. Just make sure your local server is just running, and as you can see, it's run, right? Ngrok is just run, and then as you can see, it's going to be, let me just make it bigger. This is the link that we can share to anywhere on the internet, basically, because this is a public. So I'm going to visit the site, and as you can see, this is going to be accessible to anywhere you want. Okay, great. So that's how we set up the Ngrok. So now the next thing is, let's go to domains, right? Just make sure you click the new domain, and after that you will have this new domain right here, right? Click that, and then I just want to close this. This is just for example. And then let's go back to the webhooks here on the documentation. We need to create a domain. This is what we're doing here, right? After you add new domain, you click this right here and then copy this domain name right here, right? Just copy that and paste to wherever the place you like. I'm going to put that on our environment variable. Just paste that right here, right? And also, what I'm going to do next is we need to start a tunnel. So let's go to domain here, click this icon, and then start tunnel. All right. So we need to copy this URL here, this terminal, and then paste that into your terminal and then hit enter. So now your localhost 3000 will accessible to the internet with that domain name. Okay. Let me close it, and then let's try again. Not connecting with my server because I'm not run my localhost 3000 locally. So I have to do npm run dev, and it should be show my application here. Oh yeah, that's just because sorry about that. I use port 80, I believe, right here. So let's just paste that, and then we need to change basically this port right here. Instead of 80, we need to use 3000 because that's what the port we use on the Next.js application right here. All right, so finally, as you can see, we get this link live. Nice, great. What we are going to do next is let's go back to the documentation here. After we start the tunnel, as you can see, we need to change the 80 into 3000. That's what we're doing. And the next thing is go to your Clerk dashboard, navigate to webhooks. Okay, what is that webhooks? I believe this word right here, right? Click webhooks. If you cannot see, I'm going to make it bigger so you can see that. If we on the webhooks, what we're doing next? Let's see right here. Select add endpoint, right? Go back here, and then this is the endpoint that I use for a testing. Okay, I think how we can remove that. I don't know how we can remove that link. So anyway, I can add new link here. Just paste that, right? It's come from the link that I paste to environment variable, which is this link right here. I'm gonna copy that and then paste that right here, right? And then as you can see right here, what the event that you want to subscribe. If you want to subscribe, for example, user create, let me see right here, right? User create, that means every time user create new account on your application, it will trigger the webhooks, right? I'm going to click the user created and click create. Please provide, oh yeah, my bad. This should be an HTTP right here, right? I'm going to copy this and then go back to here, and then it's going to be http:// and then we are going to add API. I believe it's going to be at API/webhooks. Okay, copy that, and then where is that? Right here, I'm going to paste that. Great. So now let's click create. Nice. As you can see, now we on the endpoint right here. And what we are going to do next is basically we need to copy this sign-in secret. Okay, so let's just see the secret right here. I'm going to copy that. All right, let's go to your environment variable, create this sign-in secret. Copy that, go back to environment variables, and then I just want to paste that right here. And then the value is going to be come from here. Okay, copy that, paste that. Nice. So after that, let's see what we're doing next. So basically, just make sure your Clerk middleware is exposed the API/webhooks. And by default, I believe it exposed by default. Let me go to middleware, and as you can see, all API will expose by default. Great. So now let's install sfix. So this sfix is basically to deliver webhooks. So you will use it to verify the webhook signature. Okay, just follow along, copy that, and then, wow, we need to create another terminal here. Great, so we need to install the sfix. All right, so after we install that, what we need to do next is basically, let's scroll down. We need to create this route. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this right here, API/webhook/route.ts, go to app, and then I just want to paste this right here, API/webhook/route.ts. And then we need to just copy all of this, right? All of that, copy that, paste that right here. And as you can see, now we have all this right here. Okay, so this is basically get the sign-in secret. If we don't have that value, it throw an error. And then this is create new sfix instance with secret. And then blah, blah, blah. It will get the headers. And then as you can see, this is basically the body will get, right? So I'm gonna showing you first. Yeah, I think now we can use. Let me go back here. Right, we can test that out. As you can see down here, we can test the webhooks using these right here. Testing. Okay. So let me just show like this, because when we testing, it's going to be show the result real time right here. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see what happened on the console. Okay, so I'm going to select the event that we are going to send is basically user create. Okay, so let's select user create. This not SMS, I'm sorry. What is where is the user create? On the top right here. Okay, great. So now, as you can see, this is the schema that have data and etc. that we are going to send on our webhooks. Okay, let's scroll down and send example. As you can see now here on the terminal, let's see what happened. As you can see, it's through an error. It's a please add signature secret from the Clerk dashboard. Hey bro, we already doing that. As you can see right here, secret. Oh my bad. Okay, it's secret, not secret. Okay, so let's try again. I'm going to send the example. As you can see, before we send example again, as you can see here on the message attempt, we should have this failed because the first testing is failed, right? Let's try again. I'm going to send example. Hopefully now we have success. As you can see, we have all this data, right? So basically what happened is, let me go to row.ts, and then here, as you can see, this is just console log. This ID come from the event.data and then event type. Okay, and also this console log all the body basically. As you can see right here, if you cannot see it, I'm going to copy all this object, right? And I'm going to paste to just random website that give me ability to format JSON data. So let's search for format JSON, and then I think I just find a random website process, and then as you can see, this is the data that we have. I'm going to make it bigger. As you can see, this is the data that we send. We have the data, and then inside that we have birthday, email addresses, and etc. This is the data. So we can get the data and then store to our database. Okay. If I go back to dashboard of the clerk, and if I refresh, as you can see now, it should be success. As you can see, succeeded. Great. So what we are going to do now is we are going to store the data into the database we have. But first, I'm going to just update my schema here, my user model. So I'm going to just paste this model right here, really simple, that have an ID, email, right? And then name. Name is basically first name, and then password is optional because when you log in with Google, there's no password, right? And also image URL. Clerk user ID is basically the ID right here. Let me see. I believe data.id. Let me search for ID. This one, right? I'm going to store that ID on the database as well. And also, yeah, everything is normal. Great. So after we update the schema, we need to say npx prisma dbpush in order to basically connecting our new model schema into our database, right? Let's do that. And then now all data will be lost. I'm going to say yes because we have new schema. It's fine. So now we can do npx prisma studio just to check our database field on the database. Oh, I think this is zoom in. Yep, here we go. We have clerk user ID, create add, and etc. The table is updated right now. Great. So now let's go back to the road. This is basically we are going to send the data into our database using Prisma. So first, I'm going to make sure that this is event user created, right? So we can add new data in our database. So in here, I'm going to destructuring all the data right here, all right? That have an ID, email addresses, first name, and also image URL. So you can see all that data in here basically. Okay, just just store whatever the data you like to store on your database. In this case, I'm going to store the ID and etc. Okay, so in here, I'm going to use try and catch. Try, and then I'm going to use catch. I grab the error like this. Nice. So on the try, I'm going to create a variable called new user set equals to await. For Prisma, Prisma is going to become from the lib folder, right? And the top right here, okay? And also what we are going to do here is I'm going to get the user, right? User.create. And here I'm going to add a data on the user. So basically I'm going to send the clerk user ID. I'm going to put the ID value come from the event.data. And for the email, I'm going to send this value right here because as you can see, the email is inside the array and on the first object. Okay, and then also I send the name, just first name and image URL right here. Okay, so this is just, for example, I want to return the response, okay, like this, so user can see that response. So of course, this should be new user. As you can see, it's going to be show that response on the networks and all the information here basically. And also, if something wrong happened, I just want to console log the error like this, right? Console error. And also I'm going to put the error variable here and also return a new response with this message. And also we have status 500 to get an error message. Great. So I think we're done. Now let's try to log in, right? Let's go back on the dashboard here. On the user, I just want to remove that user here, delete that. And then I just want to open my my studio is already open. Great. Nice. I just want to open the studio as well so we can see the data on the database. Great. So let's open also this right here. I'm going to refresh. Yep, we get this error here. It's because we don't run our local environment right here, npm run dev. After we run it, and hopefully everything should be fine. Okay, as you can see, the database empty. Also, the dashboard clerk is empty. Great. So now let's try to log in, and hopefully the webhook is run. I'm going to continue. Let's see what happened on the Prisma Studio. Let me see. It's still in the time. Just wait for that. And as you can see right here, because we just console log right on the page, I believe right here, we just console log JSON stringify the user. That's why we get the value on right here. And of course, this is come from the database. As you can see, if I refresh, of course, it's right here. And also, we also get that data on the user here. So every time user created in our application, it will also store the data on our database. All right, so that's how you set up your Clerk webhooks with Next.js application. If you like this video, if you think this is helpful, just don't forget to subscribe because 80% of my audience on this YouTube channel is not subscribed. I'm not sure why, but just don't forget to subscribe. It's mean a lot to me, guys. So thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.